thank you, Alex from Royals, for joining me here on Beyond the Static.
Okay.
Um, I was actually really excited to have you guys on. You know, um, contacted me a little while back, and then I went and started listening to your music, and I was just like blown away. And I was like, "Yo, I gotta get these guys on
That's
like
sweet.
almost immediately." So,
Yeah.
um,
No, that's really cool. Thank you.
not a problem, dude. So why don't you tell everybody a little bit about the band, where you
Yeah.
started? I saw you guys got some new members recently as well. Um,
Yeah. Yeah. We've had a sort of slight lineup change. I myself was playing a different instrument. So yeah, we've had a like quite a big sort of change up. But no, it's all positive. It's all good. So, but yeah, where would you want to start? Sorry.
um, just a little bit of history about the band, how it started,
Yeah.
from then till where we are now.
Okay. Awesome. So it was just me and a singer to start off with. He messaged me, and he was in a band that I kind of knew at the time. So I always knew of the singer, just from being in bands together. I've always known him. So it was me and him writing for a bit. I think the first song we wrote was "Up All Night," and it kind of went from there. Really, I think we then got some members in, and at the time, I wasn't quite sure if I was going to play drums or guitar. I think I was more set on guitar, and we didn't have a drummer, but we had studio plans booked in, so it was kind of looming. So I kind of thought, right, I'll play drums. So we were a four-piece for a while. Recorded that EP, Painted Gold, um, and then from there we started working with some other people. We recorded two singles. Um, After we recorded them two singles, which is Fairweather Friend and Outreach, just on Spotify, um, we I had one member leave, just because they moved away, and then I at that point said I want to change from drums to guitar permanently, um, which was absolutely fine. So we did that, and then we got in a new bassist. We had a drummer contact us as well, so we thought that was perfect. So this is kind of where we are now. We've got some things happening this year. Can't say too much at the moment, but for anyone that's following us, you will see at some point in the future some new things. So we're a five-piece now, and yeah,
Awesome.
that's like a brief summary.
Yeah. It looks like you guys got some big things looming. Like I saw you're on the alt press, like 10 rising UK bands. That's pretty dope. Like
Yeah,
that's
that was cool. Yeah. Yeah, there's a few good things happening. It's annoying. There's so many things that I just kind of want to just say, but no, that was really cool. We did quite a cool few things. We supported Rome in January. That was cool. We worked with Seb Barlow, and still currently, and yeah, like there's quite a few cool things happen. That alt press is good. I think we were mentioned on Kerrang at one point as well. Our cover of Me, the Taylor Swift Brendan Urie cover, that's done quite well. I think that was on a few places. So yeah, it's really good, to be honest. It's my first pop punk band. I've always been in heavy bands before, so it's the first time kind of doing this, and it's really working out quite well actually. It's quite good.
That's what's up. I saw yeah, I did notice the Seb Barlow, you worked with him. One of the other bands I had on in 2020, who's actually also doing some really cool stuff, Goalkeeper. They worked with him
Yeah,
as well. Like they had some like interesting
yeah,
things to say about him.
yeah. It's good. Yeah. It's just I can't really describe it really. It's just it kind of like it's not just someone that kind of records and produces the music. He kind of like works with you. We always kind of go in with the songs being quite open, and it's just it's really good. And also, apart from all the music side of things, like he's the one of the chillest, coolest guys I've met. We had a laugh as well as recording with him. We had a nice time. Often to suddenly like living with each other, but that's just kind of what you have to get used to, really. But no complaints.
Sorry, roommates.
Okay.
Just had to so like first of all, I love your quarantine video.
Thank you. Yeah.
I saw one of your members is an Eagles fan, which is awesome for like this show in particular, as I'm based in Philly and also a big Eagles fan myself.
Okay.
And
Yeah. Unfortunately, that member's no longer with us anymore. But yeah, no, I remember he was into his football.
yeah, that's I don't know how popular American football is over there. So when I saw that, I was like, yo, that's really cool.
You'd be surprised. I mean, not that. I mean, to be honest, I'm not much of a sports fan anyway, so I don't take much notice. But what I have noticed is over the last 5 years or so, it's become more of a thing over here. Um, I don't know whether that's because it's people can watch it over. I'm not really sure, to be honest. But I've started to notice in the last few years a lot more people are into it than sort of when I was younger. So yeah, I
That,
don't know how like our football's popular over there over with you. Soccer, isn't it?
yeah, I mean it is. It's definitely growing more over here since basically since I mean, I've always been a fan. Like I played growing up in like the 90s and early 2000s in high school and whatnot. So for me,
Yeah,
it's always been like a big thing. But I guess ever since like I've noticed an uptick in it since like Jurgen Klinsmann took over the national team and started like all these academies and all that stuff. And now like you know American players are playing abroad and like getting all those dual citizenship guys to come and play, and it's looking really good for American
yeah.
soccer for the future. So can't be
Oh,
too
cool.
mad about
That's
that.
all right then. No, no, that's cool. I mean, yeah, I wish I was into sports sometimes because I'd have more in common with a lot of people. But yeah, no, my dad tried to push me into football when I was younger, and I just don't know. It was either that or music, and I kind of obviously take music. So
Right. Um
if it wasn't for that, I could be a professional football player. No, I wouldn't.
it's funny you say that because I noticed that like someone said to me actually the other day because I was like so well during the Super Bowl because she knows me as such a passionate music fan, and I was so into the Super Bowl, and she was so surprised that I was a sports fan because it's like she's like, you're all into all this like alternative music and like counterculture stuff. Like it's
Yeah,
just like, but I love sports. Like it's like music and sports are
yeah,
like my two big things, and
yeah,
yeah, I don't find that a
yeah.
lot.
No, no, I know a few people that are really into the sport and music. Actually, I know someone who is really into his American football and music. Quite like more alternative kind of like more old style kind of rock music. But yeah, that's the first person I kind of saw who had them two kind of favorite things before. But yeah, just one for me.
Yeah. um so you're not a big sports fan, but you guys are big into video games apparently. Like you're doing the Smash Brothers tournament. Like what's that all about?
I just, it's funny. I don't actually quite know. It's just like I get. Well, yeah, I'm going to sound like the most boring person in the world, but I'm not much of a games fan as well. But I know them two. So it's a singer basically, the blonde dude, and bassist. Yeah, them two are really heavily into their games. I think they they must talk millions of times more than what we do outside the band kind of thing, because they're always playing games with each other. So yeah, no, I think they're just doing like a tournament at the moment, and people can tune into it via Twitch. I think they've got another round tomorrow, so that'd be quite good. Um, I actually I didn't attend the last one because I just had my COVID vaccination, and I had a bit of a nasty after effect to it. So I wasn't really on my phone at all that evening, but I heard it went well. I heard it was quite fun and stuff. So I might tune into the one tomorrow,
Nice.
embarrass them or something. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad to hear you got your vaccination. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
so all right, you got the new single out, Fairweather Friend came out
Mhm.
not too long ago. I saw you guys have reached
Yeah.
50,000 streams on it. Like that's kind of a big deal.
Yeah. Yeah. It's on, it's like, I think it's on almost 70 now, but yeah, it's really good. Like, I guess kind of when we were releasing our first stuff, it was kind of, I guess, like slightly lower ambitions because, I was new to Spotify myself. I didn't even know, I didn't even use it myself when we were releasing our first stuff. And like, from there to kind of what we've done now, and for that to reach that number quite quick, it's just cool because it just goes to show that that amount of people, everywhere, like listening to your stuff. Yeah, it's cool, and hopefully stuff in the future, it gets as many people listening to it as we. Yeah.
Would you I mean obviously there are some challenges to releasing music in the pandemic with like not touring and playing shows, but uh
Yeah.
what would you say are like were the some of the keys to your success during this time? Like, obviously you guys kept releasing music and it's starting to catch on.
Mm. I think it's just kind of like, obviously, like following the rules and everything, but I just think you can still be productive. It's obviously it's hard because you're very restricted to what you can do, but I think obviously 'cause, most of us have already got kind of some recording software, like or some kind of writing software or something you can use to write music. Obviously we've all got phones, all got laptops and stuff, so we can communicate with each other. It's just kind of like just spending the day kind of just sitting down trying to come up with things. um, Obviously because of COVID we've become more socially online, more than what we were before, I guess. That's just because that's what everyone's turning to at the moment, because you're kind of restricted for what you can do outside. So I guess like the key, I guess, is just to be as productive as you can be, really, and um not just kind of try and hope or wait for things to happen. Try and like make things happen yourself, I guess. With anything you can do, like, like I only most of the time, on lockdown, especially when I was on furlough as well, just pretty much just spend playing guitar all day. So come up with something, send it round, everyone gets involved, um, and we do a lot of the recording. The recording process, we do a lot of it kind of at home, and then we send it off. To be mixed and stuff. So like instead of going up to somewhere and spending time in the studio for ages, because that's what we couldn't do that obviously over lockdown. So that's kind of ways around it, I guess. But obviously, yeah, it's just, I guess, just doing everything from home, as best as you can, and just to keep working at it. Because although there's no gigs and stuff at the moment, everyone obviously is online, so everyone is still about and stuff. There's still like ways to kind of share music with people even without gigs. But I do miss gigs, so.
Yeah, I think probably the like if nothing else, like connecting with with fans and other
Mm.
bands. You know,
Yeah.
is that like how is that different? Like, I mean, are you still like able to like meet and make friends with other bands and like make like future like plans, or like not future, not even future plans, but like, you know, bounce things back
Mm.
and forth off of each other and you know, share that like that hive mind knowledge and all that, and you know, just have that, build that
Yeah.
relationship and community with your fans? Is how's that different for you now, like other than the obvious ways, I guess?
Yeah, I guess it's just being more kind of, so I guess like, if we haven't got like music or anything kind of like that for a while, it would be more what things can we do online, like interact with people and stuff, and just kind of keep them connections, whilst other things are sort of still in the pipeline. I guess kind of over the lockdown period, that's when our first two singles came out, and that's why we're sort of where we are now. So I guess like over the lockdown, the fan base has probably grown more, um, and that's all through basically the internet, because obviously we're not met up with anyone or anything. It's hardly even met up with each other. So because of obviously the restrictions and stuff. So yeah, I guess that fan base kind of grew over lockdown. So um, it's just been kind of I guess uh, kind of like through live streams and stuff. People messaging us and you're interacting with them that way. We've done obviously Q's and A's, um, not so formal, but just we've done things that have allowed people to kind of like chat to us and stuff. And it's cool because you can talk about the music and stuff. And it's once you've kind of got that, when you've got things sort of happening, you can kind of like let people know and stuff. And I guess it's just like over lockdown, things have just become more personal. Like it's not like just that band you listen to, it's like, oh, that band you listen to and sometimes like talk to through like these events that we do occasionally, mainly like live stream involved. So it's like getting to know the band properly, and that's another cool thing about music, is it kind of helps people sort of interact and connect and stuff, and it's cool. So I think, yeah, in summary of that essay, it's basically through lockdown, people just become more personal through messages and stuff. I guess messaging, social network.
Do you think that I would think that that would build like much more anticipation um for when shows come back. I feel like the music industry is going to bounce back like really hard, and
Yeah.
because like on a personal note, like hearing all these like new bands, and like I discovered so many bands just in my area, um
Mm.
and I can't wait to see them all. Like it's not like one of those things like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, this band XYZ is playing a show, blah blah blah. It's like, oh, I found this really cool band and I can't see them.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's because I there was so many like scare threats that you heard like bouncing around from people and stuff, saying like, what's going to happen to the music industry and all that stuff, and it was quite freaky. It was like, oh god, like what is going to happen? But you know, I've myself have probably got into like 20 different bands over the lockdown period. Like before the lockdown period, I probably hadn't heard of and stuff, and I've got into so many more bands. I think because of like our singles and stuff, and we've grown a bit of a fan base since. Like everyone is just getting more and more and more into music and stuff. And so yeah, I think when it comes back, it's going to be like huge. Um, we're it will be like, I think people, I think what will happen is people will more people will go to kind of like smaller bands and like smaller shows and stuff, because even people who weren't going to music shows before will probably really want to now, because they probably got into music over the lockdown period, and they can't wait. And it's that kind of interaction that we've been kind of deprived from, because like there was a time where pubs and stuff were open for a couple of months again, and everyone was going out and going to pubs and stuff and bars, but there was no gigs happening. So that's the one thing that's been kept away from everyone for so long. I think it's going to be big. I think Ticketmaster are going to make a lot of money. No, I think there's going to be a lot of shows happening. When they start happening, it'll just be tenfold. To be fun. I kind of miss playing shows. I mean, last time I was playing shows, it was drums, so it'd be good. I can jump around.
Yeah, dude. I
Missed that.
hopefully Ticketmaster doesn't gouge their prices or anything like that. Yeah, I saw
Oh
that
god, yeah, yeah,
you guys are a pretty high energy band. I took from the videos that I watched. Uh
yeah.
what's the name of the one that it looks like it's shot in like a church or something like that? Like that was pretty dope.
Uh,
That was fantastic
yeah,
video.
out of reach.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. No, that was good. No, yeah, it's just like it's just great, isn't it? To just kind of just go kind of insane, and it's not even put on, it's just like just have absolute fun doing it. I've like never really been with I've never seen any of them stand completely still whilst playing and stuff. It's just like, and even like when we used to meet up and stuff and not even play music, we're just a massive bunch of idiots. We just like mess around. I always get my basketball shorts pulled down and stuff, and we're always like play fighting, and it's like, so we're just like a bunch of idiots. So yeah, we try and show that through the video. Obviously not trying to look like a bunch of idiots, but try and just like show that we're energetic and a lot of enthusiasm, and yeah,
Right.
it's good. I'm usually after music videos, I've got like the worst neck ache and backache, and like every muscle hurts just from going mental for like the whole day.
How long does it usually take you guys to film a video?
um it can take a while. I mean, I'm kind of used to it now, so it's not that bad. But I guess like if you're doing individual shots, it would be like maybe like just over an hour for each person. And then when you've kind of got band shots, that can take again almost like up to an hour. It's just like lots of different angles and stuff, and it's not because like you get it wrong or anything. It's just like loads of different angles. You just want every possible take and angle to put it all together. Obviously, like gimmicks, or if you what you're going to call it, like things like like jumps and like throwing a guitar around and like spins, all that stuff. Sometimes you do them separately just to get the perfect shot kind of thing. So yeah, it can take a while. Like I've been on shoots where even without a kind of a story or a narrative, just a performance, it can take like a whole day. So kind of like a good 7 or 8 hour. There's a lot of like time in between takes as well that takes up time. Um, Getting like the lighting and stuff as well is a very long process. So it's not always just the actual filming. It's like the setting up and the taking down kind of thing that also eats a chunk out of the day. But it flies by, like it goes so quick. It's just almost like having a work day, and it's quite cool to say like, oh, I've been productive for 10 hours and it was fun.
Yeah, not a lot of people get to say that. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. So I think I've seen you guys describe, as a early 2000s, like pop punk style, and or having those influences anyway.
Hmm.
Um, so how do you feel like that synthesis was like working with like one of the modern like pop punk stars and having those like earlier influences? Do you think that it brought something different to the table, like having him work with you guys, and who I'm
Yeah.
referring to Seb, or like do you think, or was it just kind of
Yeah.
like do what you do?
It's I think because obviously, we were talking to Seb when we had like the Painted Gold EP out, and I wouldn't like to say we've changed since then, but it did have older pop punk kind of influences. And it wasn't necessarily that, you know, Seb wanted to change anything whatsoever, but I think we just kind of grew and matured as a band, and with his kind of help and influence, it has the songs, our sound have become like it's a little bit more tailored into something a little bit different to what we were, which isn't bad at all. You know, it happens to a lot of bands, because I think it's not just that, but obviously you're listening to new music all the time, so you're kind of, the things that you like always kind of changes slightly. So that, and then when it comes to writing music, that can kind of like adapt as well. But I would say like we all, so when I was tiny, I was into like all the old school kind of pop punk bands, which I think we all were. And then I kind of went into my heavy music for ages and ages and ages. And then it was the, what kind of put me back into pop punk again was like the newer pop punk bands at the time were like Stagehands and Neck Deep and stuff. And that, yeah, that kind of got me back into wanting to want to be in a pop punk band and write pop punk music and stuff. So I think at the time when we first like wrote stuff, it had a blend of like some old school pop punk with a bit of our kind of new school, newer kind of pop punk. And now I would say we're not even one or the other. We just kind of got our own kind of sound now. And yeah, it'd be quite cool, be awesome if, you know, way in the future people, you know, said like, oh, that's like a royal sound, because I would do the same with some pump up bands now. I'm like, oh, that's a very Neck Deep sound, that's a very kind of Stagehand sound. It's all that stuff when you're trying to describe things. So like if you were kind of at the point where people were saying like, you know, that's a royal sound kind of thing, that'd be cool, because that's what you want really. You've got your own sound then. So yeah, I mean, I think a lot of things are always got influences from old school and kind of new school kind of pop punk, but I'd like to hope now that we kind of got our own separate like unique sound, but something that might take a little bit more time anyway.
That's I like that. I guess at the end of the day, every band like wants to be like original enough to be like their own thing, but like, you know,
Yeah,
just enough to be relatable.
definitely.
Um, so you mentioned heavy bands a few times. Like what are we talking? Are we talking like straight hardcore? Are you talking like metal? Are you talking like post hardcore? Like I know I'm a big hardcore fan, so
Yeah, no. So basically, the guitarist Will, he probably listens to heavy music the most. He's into kind of like, I guess like we want to call like your new school metalcore. So like he's into like he's like Amity. Um, that's the only band I can name it, right? No, he's into loads of Mice and Men. Like he's into all of them. I myself, my heavy taste is a bit strange because I like a lot of old school kind of metal. Like one of my favorite bands was Bodom, and I was into them since I was like 12. So I still always listen to them quite a lot because they're amazing to play guitar to. But they're quite like, almost like an old school kind of band. But then I used to listen to a lot of Ask Alexandra, As I Lay Dying, Trivium. Um, I guess the kind of metal bands I listen to now. There's a band called Life Right Now they're good. What other metal stuff do I listen to? But yeah, it was just like when I was playing drums, I used to basically like learn like loads of Trivium stuff. When I was playing guitar, I used to play Bodum stuff all the time. Um, I'm massively into bands like Error and Velemire. Um, so like quite like technical bands. Yeah, yeah. There's quite a lot. And obviously like back all my previous bands were heavier bands, so I was always used to kind of writing heavier music. So I guess that was one of the challenges. Like our singer as well, our singer was in a metalcore band back in the day, that did quite well at the time. So when we started writing pop punk together, it was kind of it was a learning curve at first, because it would start off pop punk and then it would end up going into some sort of breakdown, and then it would like a solo or something. It'd be like, well, no, how I'm going metal again. So yeah, it's a challenge, but it's good. But yeah, no, yeah, massive heavy influences.
That sounds not too, I think that's kind of what A Day to Remember does, right? Like they go from like pop punk into like these like hardcore like metal breakdowns and shit, right?
Yeah, like Chunk as well. Like they were huge influences with kind of like it's, I guess, people call it easycore, but it's just like a perfect blend of metalcore heaviness with kind of a typical major key kind of pop punk sound to it. Yeah, I used to absolutely love bands like that. To be fair, I mean, like, yeah, I wouldn't like promise anything, but like I think in the future, if we've got time on our hands and stuff like that, we have spoken about doing side projects, whether it be like really heavy stuff. It doesn't have to be under like Royals. It might not be all of us anyway, but I've spoken to some of the people about like, can we just spend a day just writing some heavy stuff, and it could just be something, just have a bit of fun on the side, and just to kind of also show people like we like other kind of styles and we can play other styles. I think it'd be awesome if we, in the future did like an EP of like fucking like of hardcore Royals, and yeah, it would all just be like, because we all love playing that stuff. Um, we could do metal versions. I was at one point I really wanted to do a really up all night heavy version, but yeah, yeah. Who knows what's going to happen? I think it's all going to be good. You don't have to stick to one thing. So I'm sure we'll have fun with other genres in the future.
That's definitely, I could see you guys doing like that sort of reimagine, like you did a reimagined song for Valentine's Day, right?
Yeah,
What was different
yeah.
about that?
Um, yeah, that was about a year ago it first came out. And it was, yeah, just after Valentine's Day, and then yeah, when it was this Valentine's Day, we said, yeah, it's the anniversary as well. I think that was just because that song, it was a favorite from people's for a while. And I think we had a lot of kind of requests from people to say, can we hear like a kind of acoustic, but it's not it's not really an acoustic version. It's just like, yeah, basically reimagined. um, so yeah, I think we just kind of we just wanted to kind of see how it sounded, and it was quite good, really. It was nice. It was like we haven't done anything like that before yet. It's something we will do in the future. It wouldn't just be reimagined versions. It will probably be just sort of kind of slower, more broken down songs. But yeah, it was, I think yeah, the reason behind that, I guess, was just we just kind of wanted to see how it would sound, and it was all right. And yeah, and some other people wanted to hear something like that as well. I guess because it's like it's a song where, I guess, because of the words and the lyrics and everything, it is something that would sound quite nice in a softer environment as well.
Nice. Um, so lost my train of thought. Um, so speaking of like, I was listening to actually your EP before, right before we came on, and how involved with the lyrics are you? I'm asking because there's one that really spoke to me. There was a song called Digital, and
Yeah.
how does he have it all? Is it real or is it painted gold? Like,
Mm,
dude, that line spoke so much to me, and like on a personal note, like being in
yeah.
recovery and starting to go to like 12-step meetings and stuff, like I would, the first few months I'm just like, yo, fuck this, like this is the worst. And you see all these people
Mm,
that are like happy that have been like sober for a while, and you're like, how are you doing that?
yeah. Yeah. I think, yeah, it's just, yeah, that song is that, so basically that was pretty much I think it was pretty much I don't get massively involved with lyrics, and it's not just because I'm dyslexic, but no, I've never been good with words anyway. Like, when it comes to like band posts and stuff, I'm always banned from writing them because I just really rubbish with words. Anything I kind of write down kind of sounds like I've written it backwards, but I've never been much of a lyrics man myself anyway. I've always just been music. So basically, it's pretty much just like Luke. I think with some of the songs on that EP, he did have help as well from well, not help and help. Sorry, I think he just worked on a few parts of some other people. But yeah, I would say mainly Luke came from. And yeah, the concept, that's what we tried to kind of almost portray it in a video. It's just like a lot of the people that you see online, is not really, most of the time it's kind of like you said, painted gold. Is not real. It's just kind of like makes you want to believe that, like, someone could be doing that well and all this kind of stuff. And I guess sometimes people overcompensate from things and put something way too positive, I guess, to kind of overcompensate for something else they're going through. And I guess, that can have a knock-on effect with some people being like, oh, how are they doing so well and stuff. It's strange. I try myself not go online. I mean, I also go online to do kind of work and stuff, but I don't always just kind of, scroll and kind of look at what people's doing, because you don't need to. Like, I I have my friends and I'll talk to them and stuff, and like, if people want to talk to me, I'll talk to them. That's fine, but I wouldn't just kind of I wouldn't like follow them around and stare at them and see what they're doing, because I wanna work on what I'm doing. And sometimes when you see things like that on there that could be false, it could make you think otherwise. But so yeah, it is good. There's a lot of lines in that kind of make you think, like, it's like, it's crazy to think. So I talk to my parents and stuff about what they used to get up to when they're my age, and most of it wouldn't just be kind of staring at a phone and stuff. And it's just crazy how things are different then and how they are now. And yeah, I wouldn't. It's just, I guess with social and like the internet and stuff, it's just to not, obviously, not do it. Do what you need to do and stuff. And like, if you want to socialize, that's absolutely fine. But I guess with the internet, it's just take it with a pinch of salt, because not everything's going to be true. And I guess just kind of, it it should, like, don't let it affect you and stuff, because you were still normal before you looked at it, so why should it be different now, kind of thing. You're still you.
Yeah. So between that and like Fairweather Friend, it feels like you guys, or at least your uh Luke, you said, writes your lyrics. It seems like he's very like in tune with, kind of the social aspects of life and society, and like, the
Yeah,
effect that takes on the individual.
yeah, no, he's very good. He's a very deep and understanding guy. He's not like some of us that are just hermits who just stay in and watch TV. No, so, no, he's a yeah, he's like, we're all best mates and stuff, and like, he's a great guy to talk to and stuff. And it's not all the lyrics are always going to be about him. Sometimes he will say, like, have any of you guys been through something, or is there anything you really want to talk about and stuff like that we can put into a song. And he'll just do it in his own way. He'll write it in his own way, kind of thing, but it'll be about someone else. So I think that's the great thing about having someone who's good with lyrics and vocals and everything, because like, they'll take something. Because I remember when I was listening to music, you used to think every lyrics was about the singer because it was them singing it, but they could be talking about something completely different and just make it into something personal. And it's not just personal with him and us and everything. It's like you were just saying, personal with you, with the listener. And I think that's an awesome thing to achieve if you're connecting with a stranger just through them listening to your music. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think being relatable is
Yeah,
is more important than being like autobiographic, I guess.
yeah.
Um, yeah. So, um, I know that you said there's not that you have to be careful about some of the things that you talk about right now, but is there
Mhm.
anything that maybe we haven't talked about that you want to get to talk about, or like let people know about, or like tease or anything like that?
I would just say, just watch your space. You don't. It won't be for too long. Um, you'll be seeing some. If you follow us, you'll be seeing some things coming up. Um, in the next few weeks, kind of, like things will start to divulge. But I would just say, just watch your space. Some cool things are going to be happening. Not just cool though, funny. Yeah, cool and funny. No, it's going to be good this year. I think it's going to be a good year. Really excited for it. We worked really hard. It's been a very, very, very stressful 2020. I think I just can't wait to just I almost let it slip then.
Yeah.
I can't wait to yeah, I can't, yeah, it's gonna be a good year. So just watch your space. Anyone who doesn't follow us, make sure you follow us. Because then you'll see stuff first.
Well, why don't you let everybody know where they can follow you, and website,
Yeah,
social media, and all that stuff.
yeah. So I think our Instagram is at Royals Official UK. Facebook will pretty much be exactly the same thing. I think all of our social media is Royals Official UK. And then website www.royalsofficial UK. And you can get the links to everything on there, like our merch store as well, YouTube, Spotify, Apple, everything. And then all of our social medias will be on that website as well. So www.royalsofficialuk.com.
Awesome. Well,
Cool.
I mean, I think that's all I got. Thank you so much, Alex from Royals,
That's
for
all right.
joining me here on Beyond the Static. It was great, great.
Awesome. Thank you very much. I loved it. All right.